Soul Man is a grade 1 drum kit piece, and the crotchet set at 113 beats per minute. The genre here is soul music, and then this rectangular thing that's in the top line is a ride bell, the very center of the ride symbol. And then the rule is vertical from top to bottom. You do everything in that visual field. It's the same with all musics, whether it's piano or guitar or whatever. So from top to bottom you do a bell with a rest, so it's just a bell, and that's a crotchet rest, the 3 looking squiggle thing here. Bell with a bass, bell on its own, bell with a bass, repeat that bar, that's the same thing as that, same thing. And then bell, bell bass, snare with a minim rest, crotchet rest again, then you crash bass, hat, snare, hat, bass, bass, snare, hat, repeat that again basically, except for the crash. You're sitting all on the hats. The hats are in quavers, so that's one line all together now. Bass, hat, snare, hat, that's the same thing. Then you repeat for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The division looking thing here means you repeat that exactly again. And then here you got bass, hat, bass, bass, snare, snare, crash bass, and then all the basses. Whenever you're not doing a snare, you're doing basses. Crash bass, bass, snare, bass, 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 snare, bass. Basically repeat that again. So for another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this 7th one is a variation. So bass with a hat bass with your right stick on the hats, as you were before anyway. Bass, left, right, left. Then you crash bass it. It just flows better. It flows like water. It's like dancing. You've got to be elegant, and anything furthest away from being clumsy. So bass, left, crash, ride bass, snare, ride, bass, bass, snare, ride, and you're just doing a bass, bass, snare, ride, bass, bass, snare, ride. More of the same, so that's a repeat of that again, 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 except bass, bass, snare, ride, bass, bass, snare. Then your outro, which is here, is the same as your intro basically, except for the very last 2 bars. Bell, bell, bass, snare, 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 crash bass, rest for a crotchet, rest for a minim, which is 2 crotchets equivalent. So 1, 2, right, left, crash bass. That finishes, and this is how it sounds.
Soul Man. 1, 2, 3, 4.